Imagine this. July 20th, 1969. A collective gasp echoes around the world as a spacecraft from Earth, Apollo 11, descends onto the moon's surface. The air is thick with suspense in mission control. The world stands still, holding its breath. Then the historic words of Neil Armstrong pierce the silence. The Eagle has landed. A wave of joy and relief washes over humanity. In this moment, history was made. Humanity stepped onto a celestial body, forever changing our perspective. But how did we get there? What propelled us to break free from Earth's gravity and journey into the unknown? The answer lies in the monumental feat of engineering known as the Saturn V rocket. Standing taller than the Statue of Liberty, this titan of technology was the vehicle that carried the Apollo 11 crew to the moon. But this wasn't just any ordinary rocket. It was a multi-stage vehicle, each stage designed with a specific task in mind. The first stage, with its 5 colossal engines, had one job and one job only: to break free from Earth's gravitational pull. It did this with a mighty roar, generating more than 7.5 million pounds of thrust. That's the equivalent of 15 Boeing 747s at full power. Once the first stage had done its job, it was jettisoned, and the second stage took over. This stage propelled the crew into Earth's orbit, where they would circle the planet twice in just under 3 hours. It was a brief pause, a moment to check systems and ensure all was well before the real journey began. The third stage, the final push, was what sent the astronauts on their trajectory to the moon. This burn, lasting just under 6 minutes, was a ballet of precision and power, catapulting the crew at a speed of 24,000 miles per hour towards their lunar destination. But this journey was not just about the rocket. It was about the 3 men inside it, their years of training, and countless simulations. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, the human element of this technological marvel, were as critical to the mission's success as the rocket that carried them. They were the pioneers, the ones willing to risk it all, to step into the unknown for the sake of exploration and human achievement. Their courage and dedication, coupled with the sheer power and precision of the Saturn V, were what made this journey possible. With a thunderous roar and a trail of fire, Apollo 11 embarked on a mission that would redefine human achievement. Once on the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin had a precious few hours to explore, to experiment, to experience. This was the culmination of a journey that had begun not just with their Saturn V rocket launch, but with the dreams and ambitions of every person who had ever looked up at the moon and wondered. Their first task was to set up the early Apollo Scientific Experiment Package, or ESEP. This was a suite of instruments designed to gather data about the moon's environment. There was a seismometer to measure moonquakes, a laser retroreflector to precisely measure the distance between Earth and Moon, and a solar wind composition experiment to capture particles from the sun. These experiments were not just for the benefit of the Apollo 11 mission, but for all future lunar explorations. Next came the collection of lunar samples. Armstrong and Aldrin gathered rocks and soil from the moon's surface, carefully selected to provide a range of material for scientists back on Earth to study. These moon rocks told us much about the moon's history and geology, and even gave us clues about the formation of the solar system itself. And then there was the iconic planting of the American flag. This was not just a symbol of national pride, but a testament to human achievement. It was a message to the universe that we humans, confined to our small blue planet for so long, had finally taken our first steps into the cosmos. Finally, there were the personal moments. Armstrong and Aldrin had a few minutes to take in the stark beauty of the lunar landscape, to peer back at our distant Earth, and to reflect on the enormity of their achievement. These moments, perhaps more than any other, captured the human dimension of the Apollo 11 mission. As they lifted off from the moon, they left behind more than just footprints. They left a legacy that spoke to our capacity for exploration, our thirst for knowledge, and our boundless potential to reach beyond our own horizons. A legacy that continues to inspire us, even 55 years later. The journey back to Earth was just as perilous as the journey to the moon. It is often said that what goes up must come down, but in the case of the Apollo 11 mission, descending from the heights of space presented its own unique challenges. After having taken mankind's first steps on the lunar surface, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins were faced with the daunting task of returning to their home planet. The lunar module, now lighter without its descent stage, jettisoned from the moon, carrying the trio back to the command module in lunar orbit. This delicate maneuver, known as trans-Earth injection, set the spacecraft on a direct course for Earth. Over a span of nearly 3 days, they traveled a distance of roughly 240,000 miles, hurtling through the void of space at speeds unimaginable to the ordinary human experience. Once they were close enough to Earth, the service module, which had served as their home and life support for the duration of the mission, was discarded. What remained was the command module, a small conical capsule with its heat shield pointed towards Earth. It was this heat shield that would protect them from the intense heat generated by re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, a fiery ordeal that no amount of training could truly prepare them for. The world held its breath as communications blacked out for a tense few minutes during re-entry. But then, the triumphant words came through. Odyssey Houston, standing by, over. The command module had survived re-entry, and the astronauts were alive and well. The final stage of the journey home was the splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Parachutes deployed, slowing the capsule's descent until it gently kissed the ocean's surface. The world watched as the astronauts were recovered and hoisted aboard the USS Hornet, where they were greeted with cheers and applause. With their safe return, the world breathed a sigh of relief, and a triumphant chapter in human history closed. Apollo 11 was more than a successful mission. It was a testament to human ingenuity and determination. This monumental event has had a profound impact on society and future space exploration. In fact, one might say that the moon landing was a catalyst for a new era of scientific curiosity and discovery. It inspired generations of scientists, engineers, and astronauts to push the boundaries of what is possible and to challenge our understanding of the universe. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins became symbols of courage and exploration. Their journey changed the world's perspective on space, making what once seemed impossible, possible. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world, encapsulating the monumental significance of the mission. The Apollo 11 mission was also a powerful testament to the power of collaboration and teamwork. It was a mission that required the efforts of hundreds of thousands of dedicated individuals, all working towards a single, seemingly insurmountable goal. This spirit of collective endeavor and resilience is a legacy that continues to inspire us today. Furthermore, the technology developed for the Apollo 11 mission had far-reaching implications beyond space travel. From the miniaturization of electronics to advances in material science, the innovations born out of the Apollo program have had a profound impact on our everyday lives. The moon landing also had a profound cultural impact. It sparked a renewed interest in space and science, reflected in everything from popular culture to education. It inspired countless films, books, and artworks, and it encouraged a whole generation of students to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Apollo 11 is the sense of possibility it instilled in the human spirit. It showed us that with courage, ingenuity, and determination, we can overcome any challenge, no matter how daunting. Apollo 11 was not the end but rather the beginning of a new era of exploration. It was the moment that humanity took its first steps into a larger universe, forever expanding our horizons and stoking our insatiable curiosity about what lies beyond our home planet. So, where do we go from here? What does the future hold for space travel and our place in the universe? With the legacy of Apollo 11 as our launch pad, we are poised on the precipice of new frontiers in space exploration. The prospect of manned missions to Mars is no longer the stuff of science fiction, but a tangible reality on the horizon. But the journey doesn't stop at the red planet. Our eyes are set on the outer reaches of our solar system and beyond, to the stars that twinkle with the promise of undiscovered worlds. With every technological advancement, every scientific breakthrough, we inch closer to answering the age-old questions. Are we alone? What mysteries does the cosmos hold? As we gaze up at the night sky, we must ask ourselves, what new leaps will we take? What new worlds will we explore? And how will these journeys redefine us, just as Apollo 11 did over 50 years ago?